Yes, can everybody see me?
Yes, we see you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Luba, for introducing us. And we have a very eminent panel here for you today in this plenary session. And our subject is sustaining relevance, rethinking business education, and change agenda for the future. So I don't have any PowerPoint presentation, but I'm sitting here in my home in Mumbai, in India, and I am re-looking and rethinking at all the events of the last few months and what is it that business schools need to do. I have attended many conferences and conventions. Uh, I have attended many conferences, many conventions, uh, many debates on what should business schools teach for the last 40 years of my working life. Ever since I graduated from business school, I have been questioning the relevance of what business schools teach. Today, I want to debunk a few myths. A lot of myths get created in the process of our debate and discussion. And one of the myths I want to debunk is about the theme of this convention. The theme of this Eduniversal convention is the soft skills of today are the hard skills of tomorrow. Does it mean to say that somehow artificial intelligence, computers, data analytics, business modeling can all replace some of the soft skills? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I would like to question today, place a question and a statement to this audience here today. According to me, in business schools, what we teach today, we need to teach equal amount of hard skills and equal amount of soft skills. It is a lot easier to teach soft skills, communication, leadership, experiencing, and so many. It is very convenient to teach soft skills. I'm a soft skills teacher myself, and I know it is good fun to teach soft skills. But if you ask me, business schools have to sustain their relevance. We need to add hard skills also to our curriculum. And some of the hard skills we need to teach are skills on how do I use artificial intelligence. That's a hard skill, that's not a soft skill. How do I use data analytics? What kind of data analytics is important today? What kind of data analytics is relevant in the world of tomorrow? And tomorrow it's all about big data, it's not about small operations. I need to teach applications of information technology and digitization in the workplace. I need to teach how to implement plans, strategies, marketer moves, and so many other places where implementation is important. I do believe that even in the organizing of this particular convention today, in this virtual world that we are all, there is many more hard skills that have gone into developing this platform than soft skills. Somebody has sat out there and implemented, has done all the hard work, has implemented all the ideas, all the thoughts, all the visions that were possible, has used technology to implement. And I do believe that that student of business management who graduates from a business school, who is able to implement solutions, who is able to look at new IT applications in the workplace, who's able to look at big data analytics, who's able to do business modeling, all the hard skills, that student will be paid a lot more salary as compared to somebody who knows how to get along well in a team. So to me, the hard skills are the first most important skills we must not forget to teach. If we forget to teach the hard skills, we will lose our relevance we will lose our competitive edge. Hard skills are a must, they are given. What will give us good students is these hard skills, but what will make us great are definitely the soft skills. I will not deny. But soft skills without hard is nothing. I mean, you'll get just a nice student who will be very good and nice to get along with, but may not be able to produce results. I do believe the number one soft skill that we need to teach in business schools, and I've seen and interacted with so many business schools in the last 2 days. I've listened to all the speeches from different business schools, not only in this convention, but in also other Eduniversal World conventions and many other forums as well. And I do believe many of them forget to teach something called cultural agilities, which is a topic we discussed yesterday. We teach communication, we teach leadership, we teach learning through experiencing, we teach so many different things, but we don't teach what to do when we go into a different culture, into a different part of the world. We don't teach, if I'm sitting here in India and I'm managing a global enterprise, which is purely in digital space and purely in the cyber world, how does my customer in Japan respond? How does my customer in Singapore respond? How does my customer in Middle East respond? And how does my customer in Europe and Americas respond? And how do I create a marketing strategy that will win in each one of these places? So we rarely teach that cultural agility that is needed to make students successful. That is a soft skills we definitely need to build, but on the top of hard data. So I need to gather a lot of data about customers in Japan, in Singapore, in Europe, in Americas, in Middle East, and all over the world. And I need to use that hard data analytics to be able to be more culturally agile. And that is the skill that will define the good from the great. That is the skill that will give you the competitive edge which no one else can. So we must not teach our students that hard skills are bad and only soft skills are good. It sounds good, it's easier to do that, but we must teach our students that hard skills are a given, it's a must. You have to go through the rigor of learning the numbers and crunching the data. And on top of that, you have to learn how to use this data to make yourself culturally relevant across the globe and to give yourself a strategic competitive edge. So the soft skills are necessary, but not in the absence of the hard skills. So with that statement, my dear friends, I would like to hand over the forum to my good friend, Virginijus Kundrotas, who is also the scientific committee member of Eastern Europe. So Virginijus, over to you. Thank you so much for your attention.
Virginijus, your presentation is downloading. I just need 20 seconds.
Virginijus, we don't hear you.
Sorry, I forgot to switch my microphone. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here. And thank you very much for being here with us. I would like to thank Aneeta for a very nice introduction. So it's really a pleasure to be here. I'm trying now just to check presentation. See myself. Presentation yet. Okay, it's downloading.
Yeah, it's downloading.
Yeah, so while it is downloading, I will try to say a few words. And first of all, to say that Aneeta been talking quite a lot about, what do we need to teach and what do we need to do. I would like to look a little bit further down in what we've been doing. If we talk about what relevance means for today and tomorrow for all of us, I would like to use the tool which has been developed by former UCLA professor, Professor Kozhakhmetov, who was a former professor at UCLA Anderson Business School. So who developed certain scanning or understanding of organizations. And he says that in order to be relevant for today and tomorrow, any type of organization should perform 4 roles. So first of all, the first role to satisfy current client needs. So, and we call that P role from the word purpose. So, and that would enable any type of organization would be effective for today in short run. We also need to do that in a systemic and organized way. So, and this is we call administrative role or A role, which gives organization, any type of organization, to be efficient in short run. So we also need to plan and satisfy future client needs of ours. And this is an E role, entrepreneurial role, where innovate, think, and looking forward for new things for our customers. And that gives effectiveness in long run. And finally, we need to assure that all these changes, all these things that we've been doing, we are doing not separately, not individually, but as a team. So that's I role. And that gives us efficiency in long run. So I try to apply that because it applies to any type of the system, from micro to macro system. So let's try to apply to the business education. So what would be a P role in business education? This is what I already mentioned, what Aneeta been talking quite a lot. It's about what do we need to teach. First of all, we need to diversify our clients, of course, our students. So either they are undergraduate or graduate or executive students. So the content, what we are teaching, might differ quite a lot. We need to provide a certain content to develop their competencies in the way what each of these segments is needed. And of course, assure connectivity among various disciplines, provide complexity, multidisciplinarity, different kinds of the things what is needed in order to develop the necessary competencies for the students. We also need to find the proper technologies, like we see today. This technology what we're using, this 3D and avataric way, all these Zooms and Microsoft Teams and every different kind of the systems. This is how we deliver that knowledge. This is the systems how we are assuring efficient delivery of the content what we decided. Also, we need to think about the development of and nurture the systems within institutions which would be keeping that and helping us to provide this process. And of course, a role is also how do we keep the certain standards what are used for the business schools in order to be accredited, etc. So all these standards, procedures for the accreditations and ranking. What would be E role of business education? E role, it would be continuously observe what is happening outside of ourselves, outside our business world, and what kind of the needs might be changing for our undergraduate, graduate, executive, whatever type of the students we've been working with, because these needs would be definitely changing. So we need to look and try to imagine what might be in the future. And this is always risky because we might be wrong. So it's always risky to search, suggest complexity and different content for competence development, what would be relevant in the future. So we can only predict, we cannot know for sure. For P role, what I've been discussing, we know more or less what the needs are for today. For tomorrow, nobody knows. We need to try to guess, try to provide some kind of and develop the content which would be useful for tomorrow, and it might be a mistake. So it's always risk. And also this unique value propositions what we've been thinking to develop in the future, it's always difficult. Also, when it comes to the I role in business education, is to communicate inside of the institution. So for people, for the students, for the faculty members, for the administration, but we would be understanding our corporate goals of our business school and do that together, suggest different kinds of ideas. And for that, we need to really do different kinds of trainings, implementation, involve them in decision making. So in other words, creating a learning environment. So if we would try to summarize that, we need P, A, E, I roles all the time to perform in our institutions. P, provide today's relevant content for the different segments of students, which needs to be effective, assuring effective development of A competencies. A, to create the systems and techniques within the organization, allowing to deliver the needed content in most efficient way. E, continuous search for the new innovative content. And I, creation of culture within an organization where empathy, support, and help would be really helping us, to create different kinds of things. But now, if we would look to these four roles, the interesting thing is that these four roles are always in a conflict, always in a conflict. These are P and A, they are short-term oriented, E and I, long-term oriented, P and E are oriented towards the result, A and I oriented towards the process, and all the time, when we have 24 hours a day, we put our priorities. And I would try to provoke you a little bit saying, but today, most of the business schools, they are focusing on first two, P and A roles in the business education. And and of course, we need to focus on that because we need to provide the current needs for our students. We need to do that in a systematic way. But because we have limited amount of time, so we very often leave E and I, then we will have more time, and we never have more time. So, and when we are starting to lack E and we do not have enough efforts, enough possibility to think about the future, what would happen? The current needs, what would be definitely changing because the future is coming very fast. So we would not be able to provide something new if we would not think in advance. Another thing, in order to provide E-role, to think continuously, to suggest different ideas, which could be disturbing P and A roles in our activities, what would happen? We would get into the conflict because, we would be disturbing the everyday routine, everyday things, etc. And people might get into the very clear destructive conflict. So in order to do that, we need to create and focus on I role quite a lot. And I would say what I see consulting different kinds of organizations, not only business schools, but companies around the world, this is the role, I role inside of the organization, how we are discussing, how we are making decisions together. It's a most difficult role to implement because we never have time for that. We think it would happen by itself. It would not. If we would not create a very strong I role within our business schools, we would not be able to create the new ideas. You know that from yourself. It would be very difficult, very dangerous to suggest some kind of innovative approach if the environment is very hostile, if we would be criticized immediately in very rude way and embarrassed way, etc. So we would stop, suggest, and provide different kinds of ideas. So, dear colleagues, we need P, A, E, I roles all the time. And if we are going to look to this, in order to stay relevant, not only today, but also tomorrow, first of all, of course, we need to be assuring ourselves that all roles, P, A, E, I roles within an organization would be really implemented. Also, in order to do that, in order not to make that conflict distract, we need to collaborate much more inside and outside our institutions, not only to compete, but also collaborate to help each other. We need to be more empathic. And Aneeta has been talking about that, about soft skills, about necessity to collaborate, to talk, etc. So we need not only to teach our students, but we need to act ourselves in such a way. We need to learn certain managerial techniques, how to develop decisions together. It does not happen itself. provides and it creates a need, develop certain skills, certain frameworks, how we are going to discuss in the meetings, not to get into the destructive conflict. In other words, we need to think if we would like to be sustainable tomorrow, not only today, we need to develop the culture, as we call culture of mutual trust and respect within organization. And for that, we need all these techniques, all these tools, which are not happening itself. So we not only need to teach, we need to act ourselves within our institutions. And to finalize, we all know the saying, mens sana in corpore sano, as Latin approach, which simple translation would be a healthy mind in a healthy body. When we are talking about the future, we are very much focusing on the content, sometimes on the technologies, but we are less focusing on the internal integration of our organization, on how to set up the system, culture within our institutions, which would enable that creativity to boom, which would enable different people not afraid to suggest different interesting kind of ideas and not to be widely criticized for that, where we together would be able to think what else we can suggest for our current and future students. So this is what I inviting all of us think about. If we would like to be integrated organization, we need to be integrated not only externally, not only understand what the needs are today and tomorrow, but also we need to know how to act and to work and collaborate inside of our organizations, and of course other organizations as well. So with these words, I would like to thank you for your attention and would like to give the floor to my also good friend and colleague, Assylbek Kozhakhmetov. Thank you.
Good morning for everybody.
Good morning, Dr. Assylbek Kozhakhmetov. Do you need any assistance?
Not really. I have assistant. Not really. Okay. First of all, I'm very happy, and it's a big honor for me to have a speech at this prominent conference. But at the same time, I'm not really happy because I am not in a porto, not on the beach. Today, we got the first snow in Almaty. It's good as again, but anyway, there is a difference. Okay, I would like to speak more about, as we agreed, rethinking business education. I would like to compare business education of 20th century and 21st century. I will start from the COVID as a challenge. What we had a COVID, first, it's a, of course challenge. It's a complicity, it's a opaqueness, it's a volatility, it's instability, it's a disruption. And what is our answer to such a COVID? 21st century anyway will answer, have to answer, must to answer. And I am giving our answer as a solution. First of all, COVID, it's a competences which update on individual and organizational level. Opportunities for business and life education. Visioning as a learning organization. Increasing synergy and trust. And of course, developing knowledge management. Maybe it's a short explanation of all my presentation, but we will go step by step. When we're thinking about business education in 20th century, classical higher education focused on majority of wage workers than self-employed people. Diploma was for certain professions with rigid curriculum. And education For the 21st century, the more economy of small and medium enterprises with increasing number of entrepreneurial units, enlarged additional and multi-vector university and non-university education, more focused on the majority of individual entrepreneurs and self-employed people, and diploma on demand constructing individual education with flexible curriculum. If you look, what does it mean education in 21st century? It's not only wage workers. It is freelancers as well. It is entrepreneurs as well. It's people on retirement, working age, inactive population, and of course, NGO workers. Life learning becomes necessary for all groups. And what kind of rethinking life learning in this case? Life learning started before at universities and goes to the 23 or 63 aged people. For 21st century, it's a different story. It's real life learning process. Started from the zero, from the 1 year up to 63 plus, when people on retirement. And every time we are studying. And we now have more than university education. It's non-university education starting before the university itself. Life learning bringing us new agenda as a digitalization, a replacement of irrelevant professions, transition to new professions, extracurricular education that expands, transform profession, reskilling, upskilling, and new skilling. And through the e-globalization, explosion of virtual communication, expanding socialization, instant communication tools, remote and hybrid working, virtual teams, increasing of business and life education accessibility, and lack of life and face-to-face communications. What kind of changes on the competencies level? Rethinking competencies level on individual level. 20th century, it was about hard skills and soft skills. But in 21st century, it's a big transformation from hard skills to the robots, artificial intelligence, and hard skills, or all hard skills, which will be less than in 20th century. Soft skills, oppositely, it's enlarging. Soft skills, the old soft skills, but adding mind skills, adding hard skills. Now we have big hard and big soft skills in 21st century. But when we are speaking about hard skills on the individual level, it's a professional hard skills. It's a domain matter expertise, disruptive of technical skills, specialized industry skills, language skills, and digital skills. If we are looking for the soft skills changes, it's a real soft skills, old soft skills, it's a professional soft skills, communication maybe, social intelligence, responsible citizenship, sensitivity to cultural values and ethical issues, virtual collaboration skills, capacity to synergy. When we are speaking about hard skills, now more increasing empathy, intuition, responsibility, emotions, and unconsciousness. We are building happiness. We will build love, passion, and trust. I'm dreaming that we will have a special new course, love building, sorry. And if we are speaking about mind, it's more about entrepreneurial mindset, leadership, creativity, curiosity, cognitive load management, strategic and systematic thinking, new media literacy, critical thinking, learning to learn, flexibility and adaptability, resilience and stress management. But we should rethink competencies not only individual level, but as well organizational level. In 20th century, individual development of employee prevailed. Organizational potential was not used to full capacity. Lack of its performance in corporate strategic development. 21st century, organization becomes more meaningful and powerful through its hard as a knowledge management and its soft as a learning organizations. When we are thinking about hard skills for organization, we are speaking that in learning organization, the community uses knowledge management to dramatically increase managerial productivity and working efficiency, capitalize and share knowledge and make it meaningful. If we are speaking about soft skills of organizations, we are visioning as a learning organizations. Individual learning progress and self-development may not enough provide added value to the development of an organization and society. Organization's capacity for synergy in learning, it's a strong competitive advantage and promotes its sustainability. That will lead us to increasing synergy and knowledge management, catalyzes a learning organization to be effective, productive, and to grow faster. And we will get, maybe, and we hope, organizations breakthrough. And of course, not only skills we should speak, we should rethink our values. I think increasing trust. 20th century, it was more about competition and collaboration for the benefit of organization. In 21st century, synergy and partnership for the benefit of society. Implementation of the triple win principle, according to which any mutually beneficial cooperation between the two sides win-win should benefit also to the third party, to the society win. With open mind and heart from the Almaty, Kazakhstan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Assylbek. Thank you very much, dear speakers. Let's give a big round of applause for Aneeta, Virginijus, and Assylbek. Thank you. If you have any questions, we have some minutes now. Don't hesitate to write your question in the public chat or raise your hand.